To begin with, I feel that, generally the tendency is to associate fake news only with online media, to which I don't agree to a great extent. I see a lot of fake news in the so-called mainstream media. There are primarily three reasons for it. One reason for this fake news in the so-called mainstream media is because there is something called paid news, and which we have seen during the elections, when a rally which was not successful is projected to be a successful rally, a candidate who is not winning is projected to be winning. So that I categorize as fake news. So paid news is in a way fake news. The second category is when I see the media polarized as never before. So there is propaganda and counter-propaganda from all sides, and there is a lot of fake material that is being floated around. And I see the so-called mainstream media lapping it up like anything. We can see that, in daily news bulletins, what happened recently in Bihar about a beheading of a particular, person for naming or renaming a particular street. Third reason, I believe, is dealing with our own profession. I think that all the principles that we used to follow, the accuracy, the objectivity, the field work that we used to do, the cross-checking of facts that we used to do, we have done away with that. As a result of which, maybe because we are in that 24/7, running, chasing the news, so we are not giving news the time that it requires to be given.
So Pratik, you do the business of trying to bust fake news. I mean, that's what alt news does. So why don't you take us through a little bit about things that you may want to say, and whether, given the technology, the dark internet, social media, WhatsApp messages coming secretly on my phone, can that ever be busted?
So at alt news, essentially, we mainly look at three kinds of fake news. One is, let's say a politician is saying something from a podium, and that is given first priority. And then if mainstream media is putting out some information which is not true, that is given second priority. And finally, the thing which is happening most frequently is the Hindu-Muslim kind of fake news. And more often than not, these kind of fake news, they are targeting the minorities. They are, any event happens, anything which is remotely violent, immediately there's some fake news, in form of video or text or image, which is circulated to show the minorities in bad light, and that is essentially to aid the majoritarian politics that we see in the country today. So that is what we mainly do, and the challenges that we face is basically that, irrespective of what information we put out, let's say a video is viral, and we figure out that the original context was something else, and we put out that information. But the video or that particular fake news continues to be viral for 24 hours, 72 hours, depending on its cycle and depending on how provocative it is. And unfortunately, for example, alt news has about 8 million views over the past 1 year, and about 6 million uniques, about 5 to 6 million people have viewed alt news. But that is a very small number. Essentially what we need, in this day and age of fake news is more and more mass media organizations coming out and helping us with this endeavor, because it needs to reach out as many people as possible, especially the rural part of India, where we have given them ways and means to access internet. You have Geo on every other phones, you have BSNL reaching to the remotest parts of the country, but unfortunately we have not given them a single tool to figure out what they have on their phone is true or not. So what we need the most urgently is for a cross-functional organization, umbrella organization where different platforms, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, and all kinds of media organizations coming together and creating tools and creating educational material to, basically look at the menace and try and reach information to people and try and reach education to people, so that we don't have another Jharkhand where just a WhatsApp rumor can go and it leads to killing of 7 people, and now about 20 people have a criminal charge. So yeah.